down and the rig is on. iRacing is where I belong. Discord's lit and the drivers are here. This is GEC, there's no room for fear. Green flag drops and the engines roar. 40 cars and we all want more. Mash the gases, we're on the line. Forward and we're feeling fine. Drifting close in a slipstream dance. Taking the corners in a high-speed trance. Tri-oval side by side. In this GEC league, there's nowhere to White flag, need a perfect lap. All gas, no brakes to close that gap. Checkered waves in the racing world. Another battle is over and done. Cheers to the booth, hope they like the show. Victory lane is all I
And welcome back to the GEC Racing League YouTube channel. Tonight we've got the Collateral Damage Sports Network Truck Series going road racing here for the CDSN Grand Prix at LimeRock Park in Connecticut. As usual, I'm Shane Cochran up in the booth, and with me, as always, is Lee Kiernan. Lee, how are you doing?
Yeah, doing really good, Shane. What a beautiful place this is. Beautiful background, beautiful place. I know you love the track. I really struggle with this track. So tell us, what do we got weather-wise?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. 68 degrees in the air, 86 on the track. We are running the classic layout, which means it's just under 1.5 miles. No tricky chicanes anywhere. This is kind of a pretty straightforward layout. A lot of drivers kind of cut their teeth here coming up through the MX5 series and things when you first join iRacing. So hopefully you guys have a lot of laps here, but probably not in these NASCAR trucks. But they are fun to race on the road courses, especially if you've got the H-pattern shifter and get to have all that fun using all 3 pedals here at LimeRock Park. Really, the trickiest part of the track is going to be, I don't know what you call it, the backstretch. Is what I would most likely call it, but it's when you come that right-hander right at the top of this track map, you come up the hill and there's a crest of the hill, and if you stay in the gas full throttle, even with the steering wheel straight, the rear end of the truck is going to kick out from under you. So that is my prediction of where we're going to see the most incidents here tonight. But if they're side by side, every corner has the potential for chaos here at LimeRock.
Yeah, there's a Namco around, which is pretty close to the surface. You're really quick around here. What happened with me is every time I go up over the hump, is I would build my confidence, get quicker and quicker, and then all of a sudden I'd go too quick, and the thing would just step out.
Yeah, I mean, especially in any NASCAR or stock car, it's the edge is has a deep fall when you go over it, and a LimeRock just teases you and tempts you to push it too hard. Turn 1 is a great example where it's a big sweeping double apex turn, so it looks like you have a lot more space to slow down, but that first apex is actually really early, and I'm sure we'll see a couple drivers overdo it and head into the grass. The good news is there's a lot of grass off of turn 1 for you to hopefully get that truck turned back in the right direction. But even with that, there's a couple places here where the wall is just off the track, especially with that backstretch hump we already mentioned. So it's gonna be a fun race.
Just after the hump, the right-hander is really tough too. If you take that too wide, there's a Armco that comes up very quickly when you're as soon as you hit the grass. So tough track.
Yeah, and that right-hander you're talking about, if you hit it just right, you can pretty much stay full throttle. But if you miss it just a little bit, it's almost too late to recover. You're going to go off in the grass a little bit. and there's not that much of a recovery zone at that area. We're going to take a look at our season standings here to get this race started, because we have just kicked off our playoffs, and Bryce Borer with 6 wins was the regular season champion, and so he's going to come into this race with a 10-point lead over everybody else in the field, with Michael Boyd and Blake Henderson, Ryan Moutre, and Walt Sahadak all tied there for second. Then it's going to be John Anthony, Klaus Brahm, Ryan Elzey, Kenneth Gallman, Jamie Griffin, Dakota Osborne, Josh Ryder, Jonah Seawright, and Kyle Simmons all tied for 6th, as the points have just reset. So it's a whole new ball game for a lot of these drivers who have seen Bryce Borer be 50, 60 points out of reach. This is going to be the first race where he's right there. Any person in the field could take the points lead after this race, depending on how it goes for them and how it goes for Bryce.
Yeah, it's interesting. I see that Bryce has qualified. I believe he's qualified on pole. I think there's a few guys that have really got something there for him today. We have Simmons, who I expect to be quick. We have Jamie Griffin, who I expect to be quick. Henderson, I expect to be quick. But my pick tonight, is Osborne.
All right, and as we're doing this, I'm noticing we're having a little bit of audio difficulty again. Big update for iRacing this week, so we're going to step away real quick, be right back to go through the grid, and hopefully have the trackside audio up and running.
Pretty interesting, that first turn in under cold tires with the whole pack. And see everyone's made it through there successfully, so that's great. These guys have raced great all year long. Really high caliber this year with this truck series. And what a great jump by Bohr. He's got a 1.3 over, who's that? I think it's Moutre in second. Wow, there's a lot of action on this track. I'm just watching it. Yeah, yeah, it's tough. was just watching Walt then. He was pretty sideways coming onto the main straight. Ryder was exceptionally sideways coming over the hump then. Very much a rhythm track. Once you do something, it kind of messes your head up for the next couple of corners. At least that's what I found. I'm sorry, we have an incident there with the 82 and the 4. I believe they were running off on the exit of turn 1. Sorry about that. Jones and Hayes. Sorry, you were saying Logan was out front by a mile, was he? Yeah, I think it might have been Boone that got into him from memory. The 82 sideways again on the trying to pick up where he's at, but maybe the entrance to 1 right now.
I want to thank Menchaca there in the chat letting us know my mic was muted. Hopefully we got it sorted now. And Osborne continuing to work on that 44. That's for second place.
Looks like Simmons is starting to push some pressure here on Seawright as well.
Yeah, 3 trucks here. Seawright, Simmons, and Boyd. All within striking distance. Whoa, you see Seawright get really loose right over that hump on the backstretch. That's going to let Simmons to his outside, and he's going to take it.
Oh, that's so scary. They're going around the outside. Wow.
All right, why don't we jump on board with Bryce? And do a little, let him educate us here on how to get around this track. Already into lap traffic. That's Johnny Jones. He's going to get by right there, and now he's coming up on Hayes and Prim. Prim going to let him have it. Oh, 3 wide for a second. And Bryce gets it done. All right, so down into turn 1. He's just keeping it smooth, but using every inch of the track. And that seems to be the name of the game. He's touching every curb and using as much of it as he can. Not a lot of, full throttle time here as he flies around the track.
He had to pull opposite lock there for a second, coming over that hump.
Oh, and big contact for Ryder as he just picked up a meatball flag. Here on lap 7, we're going to go back and see if we can notice anything in the replay here. This is Ryder. He's coming around to the start-finish line and just gets loose and head on into the wall just at pit entry. That's the most convenient place for that to happen because he can pull right on pit road again. This was a lap and a half ago for Josh Ryder in the 32. As Bryce continues to space out the field there from the lead in the number 57.
Looks like we've got a couple of skid mark guys in the chat. Grizzly giving Goldman a let's go skid marks, and also my my teammate Manchaka also pulling for skid mark.
It looks like the 43 also just picked up a meatball flag. That's Ryan Jones. Take a look at what happened here to the 43 truck. Oh, that had the look of a hardware failure or something. That truck just hooks a left. Either that or he missed a shift.
Wow.
That's right about where you'd be hitting 4th gear. Why don't we go back and jump on board with Ryan? Yeah, that seems to be what happened there. Missed the shift. The money shift, as they call it.
It looks like we have C right back around Simmons. This seems to be a good little tussle here. Ball's pulled away to a 6-second lead over Moutre. That's a nice handy lead, and then Osborne just a second behind him, followed by Griffin and C. Wright. This obviously this battle. Be unlikely if we see a full course caution in this race. So
yeah, GEC policy at road courses is there's no stages and really no full course cautions. I'm not sure what would have to happen for us to throw one. You see the 4 off track there. That's Chris Jones. Again, these trucks are a handful as we see Simmons trying to get back in the throttle and having to just kind of feather it back and forth to keep the truck straight. Already 62 incident points here in the race. You were watching those alerts on the left. It is off track after off track for these drivers.
yeah, there's a couple of guys struggling out there. Hopefully they'll pull it together.
We've got 2 close battles that are within a half second. This is one of them between Simmons and Seawright. The other continues to be Osborne and Moutre as they are working their way through lap traffic. Now just 11 trucks on the lead lap. Oh, Chris Jones in the 4 just picked up a meatball flag. Go check in on Chris here. Oh, just gets wide, and then the hump claims its next victim. Big damage for the 4 truck.
Yeah.
Again, this battle for this battle for a second's just been going all race long.
It has. Osborne's right on the back of him. Moutre was a little out of shape there, so I think Osborne's thinking he might be able to push Moutre here. Oh, yep. No sooner I say it.
And he takes it back. Osborne up to second, where he started the race. 6 seconds behind the 57 of Bryce Borer. Our points leader and regular season champ off to a great start here in race 11 for the CDSN Truck Series.
Osborne was quick in warm-up here before this race, so let's see if Osborne can put his head down and chew away at that lead a little bit. Oh, this isn't going to help.
Hayes trying to get out of the way.
Yeah, great job by Hayes getting out of the way there. That was tough.
So up front, still Bryce Borer in the 57 truck. He's getting ready to put Gallman a lap down. That would leave just 10 trucks on the lead lap.
So I noticed a quick time, and this is pretty quick. He's done a quick time of 53.187, and that's for Bryce Borer.
Yeah, checking out best laps of the race. Looks like Moutre has logged the second fastest best lap.
Yeah.
But in terms of right now, who's fast? Osborne averaging laps a little bit faster than the leader now that he's gotten up into that second place spot. And Scott Prim is going to be coming into the pits here on lap 17. That's certainly earlier than expected. Can't tell if he's got damage or not. Maybe a little bit on the front of that 24 truck. And Hayes now just picking up a cut penalty for cutting the track, a slowdown.
Yeah, he was actually getting out of the way of Simmons and C. Wright.
And so I believe we have 3 ALR cars leading the field. Here we go. Yeah, there are 3 cars averaging a second place position. That means they're 1, 2, 3. Stitley Motorsports, the next best here with Griffin now up to 4th. He's up 1 position from where he started. JWR running in 5th with Jonah Seawright. And everybody else trailing behind those teams tonight. In terms of truck performance, the Chevys are dominating, both with the lead and the better average running order. And let's see. Oh, we do have a couple different clubs represented. So the U.S. leading the way right now, but Klaus Brahm in P8. Oh, and we see the leader gets into it with a lap car of Johnny Jones, I believe that was. We might want to step back and see that.
Cost him a little bit of time, but not too much, only a couple of tenths, as we see the 82 go around on the hump.
Oh no, that was a different issue. Yeah, you just mentioned it, the 82 picking up a meatball flag. All right, we've got a couple things to catch up with here. It looks like Ryder has crashed. Hayes in the 82 has crashed. We're going to look at that first, pick how he got that meatball. So off track already with a little bit of dirt on the tires. And the hump claims its next victim. Like I said, this is going to be happening all night long. Catches you off guard. We also saw Ryder crash on the same lap. That's lap 16. Oh, maybe that was Ryder that Bohr got into. No, it looks like Ryder crashing on his own.
At the hump again. Oh, C-Right's gone around here on the straight. Oof.
We're going to get caught up here. I think this is where... So Ryder had actually already wrecked and had damage, and that's why Bohr caught him so quickly, and I don't think Ryder just knew how much faster the leader was coming. Luckily, no heavy damage for the 57.
Can you go back to Simmons and C-Right on the start-finish?
Yeah, let's...
that's an incident there that we probably need to have a quick look at.
So these two have been battling all race long. They're catching lap traffic and get side by side. 3 wide. And Gallman somehow avoids C-Right as he goes around just in front of him.
I think Simmons had started to get past him, and C-Right moved up a little bit, and they just clashed there.
Yeah, why don't we, let's see if we can actually ride on board with Gallman as this happens. These guys are coming up behind him. Gallman's a lap down. He's trying so hard to stay out of the way, and the C-Right wrecks right around him.
I saw his rev counter drop a little bit, but not so much.
So now that we're 20 laps into this 80-lap race, still just 10 trucks on the lead lap, but that doesn't mean everybody has safe space because the lap cars are beginning to place obstacles in front of our leaders. And Hayes, you can see he's doing everything he can just to stay out of the way at this point. So he's already had some big damage, and I believe a meatball flag out there after a fast repair, though. And the 82 off again. And here comes the leader again. And that puts Bohr off track. Again, just no chance to catch your breath if you're the 82 and kind of get back into a rhythm here. Bryce is drifting over that hump just like everybody else. I mean, Bryce is drifting every corner, it looks like.
Yep, he definitely doesn't hold back.
Well, this might be a good time to check in with our in-race cameras. We do have 4 drivers. Oh, Ryder already out. That empty chair breaking my heart. We still have Griffin, Sahadak, and Brahm in the race here. I believe all of them still on the lead lap, too.
Still hovering around 6.5 seconds, that lead that Bohr's got. Both of them have had a little bit of excitement coming through lappers, but it'll continue the whole race.
And we're taking a look at Dakota Osborne. I know he has a beautiful paint scheme on that truck, and it is not showing up for us here on the broadcast with the iRacing update this week. Seems like Trading Paints is slacking a little bit, so apologies there to Osborne. But he is maintaining about a 1-second lead ahead of third place Ryan Moutre. And this has really been the closest battle all night long, with the exception of Simmons and C-Right. And after C-Right went around there that we were watching a little bit before that, he now has a 9-second gap to Simmons in front of him. It's 7 seconds further back to Michael Boyd in the 21. He gets a little squirrely there. Drivers about halfway through their fuel run by our best estimates.
And I see Bohr coming up on Sahadak here now. So that's how hard Bohr is pushing. And I think that's Osborne that just ran off on the exit of turn 1 just then. He got it back under control, but definitely on the outside of turn 1 there.
And look now, Moutre with an off track and a slowdown. Again, we're talking about if you cut the track in a way that might be advantageous, iRacing will give you a slowdown penalty of the amount of time they think you gained in doing so. Not hard to clear that penalty. You kind of just let off the gas, you know, or even go half throttle for about 10 seconds. Usually that's enough to make it up, but when you see that slowdown penalty pop up on the screen, that's what's happening to that driver. So with that, Osborne now almost 4 seconds ahead of Moutre, as he did have that slowdown penalty, and that is bringing Jamie Griffin in the 5 truck back into the picture. He's in 4th place, just 2.5 seconds behind Ryan Moutre. You can see him there starting to show up out of the windshield of that 5 truck.
Jamie and Kyle have been putting in some pretty consistent laps, so keeping these guys honest here at the front.
We ride on board with Jamie.
Yeah, there's not a lot of chatter over the radio. It's been pretty well radio silent the whole entire time. A couple of times race admins chimed in, but it's been pretty silent. It looks like the Ford just lost it again.
That would be Chris Jones, and he is still off track. Chris is 4 laps down in 12th place. There are 3 cars 1 lap down. That's Gallman, Sahadak, and Elzy. Elzy, the best of those 3, in 9th. Sahadak, though, right behind him. That's the battle for 9th.
That's a great camera angle.
The battle for the lead now 11 seconds between Boer and Osborne. Not really any close battles at the moment, other than looks like Elzy and Sahadak, the one we're watching right now, is the only battle within a second.
The 82 just got collected by, went around and got, and Prim got caught up in the spin. It's a little bit of a nasty one. I think he's able to continue, Prim.
I think we've got a view on that. Oh, it's actually Prim off first, then the 82 overcooks the corner when he gets around him. And then 24, nowhere to go. He had another truck to his outside. I think both of those drivers will be all right after that contact. And this is the gauntlet of a road course like LimeRock. The leader able to just make use of all that clean air at the start of the race. And now that he's in the lap traffic, it's just kind of avoiding the landmines.
Yeah, just taking his time going through traffic. He's got a 12-second lead over Osborne. Osborne only has a 3-second lead over Moutre. And Moutre only has a couple of second lead over Griffin. So it's tightening up there for third.
Yeah, the battle for 7th also starting to tighten up as Klaus Brahm does his best to track down Michael Boyd. He's been gaining the last few laps from what I was seeing here. If we can pull up some lap times maybe and track the trend. Actually, it looks like they're kind of trading it back and forth, but when one of them's faster than the other, it's by 2 seconds sometimes. So easy to make a mistake here at LimeRock and get off track, and that doesn't cost you a tenth, it costs you a full second. At least. As Borer gets around Brahm, that leaves just 7 trucks now on the lead lap, with Boyd the next in line, trying to hold off that leader as long as he can. Just 32 laps into this 80-lap race here at the CDSN Grand Prix at LimeRock. Oh, and the 82 actually just picked up a black flag as we see a couple of drivers heading down pit road. Got to assume that was a probably a speeding penalty. Oh, and again, as drivers trying to stay out of the way of the leader have almost made it worse for everyone involved as they get it out of the racing line and the truck just wants to skid right off the track. Saw Boyd clip the grass as he tries to let Borer by.
So what would be your would you just hold the line if you're being overtaken by Bohr here, or would you try and get out of his way?
I mean, at this point, yeah, you kind of would play it like, I mean, the speed differentials are huge, right? So right now we're looking at, it's actually Simmons is the fastest driver on track right now, but Bohr in the top 5. So if you're kind of falling off, if we look at Boyd's lap time, he's running a 58.1 that time around, and Bohr is running a 55.5, so 3 seconds off the pace. You almost approach it like you're in a multi-class IMSA style race when that GTP comes up on you. You just hold your line, be predictable, but at the same time, you know, you don't want to give up too much. In an oval, you'd be holding out for a lucky dog, but here at a road course, that's not going to happen. But what I like to do, when someone that's faster than me goes by, I'd like to do my best to see if I can stick with them when I'm watching their line, learning their break points. Because we're running a fixed setup. Really, other than a little bit of steering ratio and brake bias, these trucks are even. So if you are turning in at the same point and on the brakes at the same point, you know, you should be able to learn something from Bohr when he goes by. So I don't want to let him go by too easily so that he's so far away I can't learn anything. And it looks like Bohr is actually going to hit pit road right here. So a little bit earlier than we were anticipating. This is 33 laps into the run that Bohr comes to pit road. And that makes me think that's probably as far as you can go. If he could go on a one-stop strategy, I think he would have chosen to do it, as Moutre is going to follow him in. So we're going to reset our fuel gauges here for a 33-lap run, and everyone's coming with him other than Osborne
coming in
and Simmons. So Dakota Osborne inherits the lead. Kyle Simmons takes over second. Most of the other lead lap trucks come to pit road. That includes Moutre, Griffin, and Seawright.
With this lighter fuel load, it's interesting that Simmons is running the quickest lap times there. So I don't know whether it's just the spot he's in at the moment, but or whether he's just found his groove.
And Osborne going to stay out another lap.
Yeah, it looks like Simmons is as well.
And Seawright actually picks up a black flag on pit exit. He was in 7th place at the time. Simmons stays out as well. Still in 2nd is the 74.
I love the paint job on Simmons's truck. Racing for Outlaw.
Yeah, the only other Outlaw driver in the race tonight is Dusty Haynes, who's actually race control.
Yeah.
We got a Shane.
Dusty Haynes, who won last week.
He did at Talladega.
What a great win that was, too. I think we're all happy for Dusty to get that win.
Yeah, there's a lot of members of the league that try again to get that win. It eludes them. I think Sahadak was one of those drivers who picked up the Daytona season opener here in the Truck Series this season, and just the whole garage, everybody in the Discord just happy to see that. And I think that win by Dusty last week at Talladega for the Cup Series, very similar. Everybody happy to celebrate there with that 3 truck, or 3 car, that is.
And it was a crazy race. It was a crazy race.
One of the most fun races I've ever had at a drafting track like that. And I think we're about to see Osborne and Simmons hit pit road. There they come. That is going to leave Bryce Bohr back in the lead. And he takes it right away. As soon as they hit pit road, that's the gap that this 57 has on the field. As it looks like Sahadak got his lap back through that pit cycle, and now Bohr right back there on his bumper.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the last lap by Bohr was a 53.2, so he's only a tenth off his quickest lap time, which is the quickest lap of the session.
And there he goes around Sahadak. But now just 6 trucks on the lead lap, and one of them is Michael Boyd. He is going to be coming off of pit road, or actually he just came onto pit road, so he is going to go back a lap down as Bohr goes by there on the front stretch. So 6 cars make that. This is changing faster than I can talk. 5 cars on the lead lap. Simmons in 5th, Griffin in 4th.
Oh, and around goes Osborne. Osborne just lost it in turn 1.
And almost collected a couple other trucks too, as this turn 1 is a busy area right now. Multiple trucks coming through, able to avoid that 79 truck. And that lets Jamie Griffin up to 3rd now. He's 26 seconds behind the leader, 7 seconds behind Moutre.
He's cooked his tires a little bit with that spin too. It was a long spin, so he needs to be careful over the next lap or so.
Yeah, it's just 3 seconds behind him is Kyle Simmons. Now Osborne trying to get by the lapper of Ryder. And I'm trying to remember. Did Osborne win the development series race here last night in those ARCA cars?
I didn't catch it. I'm sorry.
I'll have to take a peek. I think it was either. I'm pretty sure it was one of the ALR drivers or ALR associates that did it.
So Jamie's 7-8 seconds behind Moutre now, and Moutre is 6 seconds behind Griffin.
Oh, I see. My correction. Osborne actually finished second last night. In our GEC development series, we're running ARCA cars. They're open to all drivers, whether you're new to the GEC community, a truck series driver, or Cup series. Everybody is welcome on Monday nights in those ARCA cars. It was actually a newcomer. McKenna picked up the win with Osborne 38 seconds behind in second place. Only those two drivers were on the lead lap. But guess who finished third last night? Jamie Griffin, who's in third right now, trying to chase down Ryan Moutre and hold off Dakota Osborne.
Yep. So Bohr has lapped everybody up to 5th position now, and that's Simmons. A lap around here is about 53 seconds. And who is that just went around it? Looks like it's Prim on the front straight there. Gets it collected again, and they continue on, and it looks like here Walt is just went around the outside of Jones. And then we have Goldman right now that's on the outside of turn 1. Collects it without hitting anything. Then re-enters. No harm, no foul. So as I was saying, about 53 or 54 seconds. So Simmons has about 14 seconds until he'll have the company of Bohr. Just a clinic here tonight by Bryce. Just a really good effort.
Ooh, Boyd almost into the back of Prim.
I was about to say, great avoidance there by Boyd.
Looks like somebody there. Is that Gallman was blinking out?
Yeah, it was Goldman. Yeah. Goldman's struggling here at the moment. He fell off the outside of turn 1 here a moment ago, and he's just lost his rhythm a little bit.
Griffin passing handfuls of trucks that are all running off course. We're not seeing a ton of position changes here through the course of this race. 45 laps in of 80. You're looking at Jamie Griffin here, started in 5th and never dropped any lower, right now up to 3rd.
Pretty steady wheel there from Jamie. There's not a lot of opposite lock. It's a good sign. Means he's not pushing too hard.
Yeah, he's pretty much matching Moutre, maybe gaining just a little bit around portions of the track, so he's got 35 laps to track down Moutre. No reason to be overly aggressive and heat up those tires at this point.
Nice and smooth as he came over the hump. Yeah, so what's he got over Osborne? About 5 seconds at the moment. Just looking at their lap times, what both of them did last lap, and they're very similar, I think. Yes, they're very similar. Jamie was 2/10 quicker by the look of that. Simmons was half a second quicker than Osborne that last lap, so he is closing that gap a little bit.
Now, over the last 5 laps, Osborne second fastest on track. Griffin faster than Moutre by maybe 6/100ths. He's going to need a little more than that to catch him by the end of this thing. Bryce making his way through a little bit more lap traffic. Now he's got some open space. It does look like Johnny Jones has just crashed.
Something's happened to Moutre as well. He might have just had an off track, actually. Yeah.
Oh, and Jones just completely missing turn 1. Yeah, not sure what's going on there for the 11. But Griffin starting to eat into the gap between himself and the 44. As we watch, he kicks that truck out sideways and gets off track. And let's take a look at that pit strategy, because I don't know if we're done with pits here tonight. As we look through, the longest that anyone made it on the first stint, 37 laps. So even those drivers will have to stop again if that was a full tank. But Boer, Moutre, and Griffin all coming down to lap 34, so I'm not sure what to make of that. If some of those drivers were saving fuel that whole time just to go 3 extra laps, maybe they thought they could stretch it to 40 and do it a one stop and just couldn't get there. But if you're somebody trying to make up ground, that means why run the full tank? Why not do your best to split this down the middle and get the freshest tires you can?
Yeah, that's what I'd be doing. I'm thinking exactly the same thing.
And so if that were the case, I think you'd want to pit in about 7 laps or so, with about 25 to go, 24 to go. That would pretty much split this run down the middle, at least for our leaders who came down 15 laps ago. And Jamie continuing to eat into that gap for Moutre.
Jamie's just really consistent here tonight.
See if we can take a peek here. Yeah, so he's been beating Moutre by 0.8, 0.5, lost 1/10 back, then gained a second there on lap 49. See what their times are here on lap 50.
The 32 of Ryder goes around. I think he's at turn 2 or 3.
He's in front of some traffic too. See if we can take a quick look at what happened to the 32 truck and how he got back on the track.
Well, we've seen an incident up. I'm not exactly sure where it is. I think it's over the hump with Seawright and Jones.
Yeah, we should be able to take a look at that. That's Johnny Jones having an issue here. He's got Prim to his inside. Oh, and they just run out of room. They don't even make it to the hump before Jones gets pushed into the wall as he spins around. Again, it's just, you do not want to be, it's hard enough being one car going over that hump up the hill. You do not want to be 2 and 3 wide if you can avoid it.
C-Rate did a really good job of avoiding that on the hump and still not, and still having his car under him.
And so there is a battle brewing. I think Brahm actually just finished the battle and took a spot from Michael Boyd. But they are neck and neck here as they come through the final turn back to the start-finish line with 20. It's going to be 27 laps to go when they get there. Oh, and Brahm goes wide. That gives Boyd the position back. We're now on board with the 41, trying to chase down the 21.
Yeah, it looked like Brahm tried to give him a little bit of room, and just got slightly offline or slightly wider than he really wanted to be. And it cost him more time than he was thinking.
And here comes Jamie Griffin to the pits. He's going to try and undercut Moutre and Borer in front of him. This is not splitting it down the middle. Simmons, he thought about it. Or maybe he was loose. Either way, he was on the entryway to pit road, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to get around for him. That was all.
And maybe it was the same with Griffin.
I think it was the same with Griffin.
That was so strange that both of those drivers showed up as heading down pit lane. See if we can get a look at this. What happened to Jamie? He just gets loose. And yeah, heads down the entryway, and then Simmons does something very similar right after. He's trying to get around Prim and almost has to go down pit road just to make the pass.
Yeah, Prim was apologizing over the comms, and Simmons was saying, "Yeah, sorry." So they're both apologizing.
What that's done from Jamie's perspective is that dropped almost 3 seconds back into Moutre's favor. And has brought Osborne. Oh, Boyd goes around right in front of Griffin. Great avoidance. But now Osborne gains an extra second. I was just going to say, he was down to 2.5 seconds, now 1.5 seconds.
And we've just seen LZ go around in turn 1. Looks like it's with Walt.
It looks like Elzie's pretty far ahead of Walt, but he gets sideways there, and then 00 hits him and gets the slowdown penalty for cutting the track. That's in air quotes. You can't see me doing it. Really not great luck for the 00, but it does look like Michael Boyd has come down pit road, and this could be the start of the cycle. So he had gone just 17 laps with 24 to go, but he can make it on fuel from here if that's what he wants to do. At the same time, Osborne now within a second of Jamie Griffin.
Yeah, I think I'd come to the pits if I was Jamie. I've had a big loose. The tires are all heated up. I think I'd come and get a new set.
We've just hit the 250 incident point threshold with just 17 drivers starting the race. A lot of, plenty of drivers now in double digits, plenty over 20 in the incident point range. Even our leader, Bryce, has 6. I'm assuming those were all off tracks, maybe a little bit of contact he had there with one of the lap cars. But right now we're riding on board with Dakota Osborne in the 79 as he tries to track down Jamie Griffin. It's about a 9/10 gap. But we've got a couple lap trucks in front of Jamie that can slow him down and help Osborne get to him.
Now, if these guys mess around at all, Simmons is only 4 seconds behind him. So that could cut down very, very quickly.
And that's Brom going wide. Jamie gets around him almost into Osborne. Then Jamie off track. Great battle here for 3rd place. This is for a podium spot.
3 seconds behind Simmons is now.
We check the lap time. Simmons has been gaining each of the last 3 laps on these two, as he's gonna work his way now around Brom.
Osborne's pushing pretty hard at the moment. You can just tell by the character of the truck.
Ooh, and I think Ryder just went off track right in front of these two. Griffin gonna get around, as is Osborne, without too much trouble. Although the 79 goes a little bit wide there coming up the hill. And there goes Ryder again. Simmons has to react. He keeps it straight. And then Prim goes off. I think that's Osborne that just got collected.
And Jamie got collected as well in that, and that lets Simmons through.
We're going to try to get another look at this. So Prim picking up a meatball flag. Jamie heads straight to the pits. Oh, it was Jamie getting into the back of the 24. And then Osborne trying to get around him, goes all the way around. Why don't we jump on board with Jamie to see... Oh, sorry, this is... Prim. Yeah, I mean, the 24 is so slow in the middle of the corner. Jamie just not expecting that at all.
You can't go wide at that point because you're off the circuit anyway.
So that lets Simmons around them both. We're going to watch this one more time, this time from Kyle Simmons' view.
And Boyd just went around on the exit of the final turn.
So what a amazing couple of corners here. As Simmons sees Ryder go off his nose, then Griffin off to the right, Prim and Osborne off to the left. 4 trucks he passes there in about a turn and a half. That puts Simmons now into a podium position as Griffin headed straight down pit road to get that truck looked at.
Osborne 2 seconds behind Simmons now.
Oh, and Griffin picked up a black flag on pit entry as well. That is going to throw a big wrench into the strategy of that 5 truck. 2 laps down is Jamie Griffin, but still in a 6th place position.
And the thing I'm thinking about here is what this does for their playoff chances, or not their playoff chances, their championship chances.
Yeah, we talked about this coming in. Bryce Borer with about a 10-point lead over a bunch of drivers tied for 2nd. Moutre, one of those, he's running 2nd right now, doing his best to stop the bleeding here points-wise. But Jamie was one of the drivers, 11 points back, tied for 6th place. He was set up for a podium until that incident right there. That is really going to derail the start to the playoffs here for Jamie that he was hoping for. And back around 10th place. It looks like we have a battle shaping up between Sahadak and Elzy. This is for position, and they are right on top of each other. He thought about trying to shoot to the inside, thought better of it. And there goes Elzy around, battling with Walt Sahadak. Pushes just a little too hard, gets that 27 truck into the wall. Now we come back to Kyle Simmons, now in third. Dakota Osborne is 2.5 seconds behind him. He's going to work his way around Michael Boyd. Boyd is in 8th position.
That gap's just ebbing and flowing there a little bit.
And here comes our leader, Bryce Borer, down pit road. He ran this one long, Lee. Went 29 laps on that run. This is going to be just 17 to the finish. I'm surprised more people didn't try to split this down the middle. At a road course, there's just no downside to pitting early. You're not going to go a lap down. There's no caution that's going to jump out and catch you. And it looked like Borer went fuel only even, not even changing tires. Maybe tires just don't matter as much as I think they do.
And I just saw Simmons go over the hump and lose it over the hump.
That is Kyle Simmons in the 74. That puts Osborne back into third. Go back and watch. He's catching Gallman. And I'll tell you what, Lee, this is the same thing we saw. I forget who it was. When you come up the hill, you need to be on the left side with your left side tires on that white line. If you come up the middle, like it looks like Simmons does here, the hump is even more violent right there. You can see Gallman's in the preferred line, and Simmons is a lane or maybe a lane and a half to the right. So 65 laps into this, we're starting to see some mental obstacles for these drivers become, you know, their Achilles heel here. And now Chris Jones has just had some sort of catastrophic damage as he picks up a meatball flag. He might have just been sitting on pit road there. Let's see if he took a tow maybe after some contact. And there he goes, the hump. I mean, I've lost count of how many drivers have made that exact save. We just saw it happen to Simmons. Now Chris Jones. I think it happened to Hayes earlier and somebody else. I can't remember. We talked about it pre-race. That was going to be the difference.
Man, what about Bohr? Bohr's put on a clinic here, and to Menchaca's comment, Bohr is crazy fast here. He is crazy fast here. He pushed really hard, and then I thought the field might have started to come back to him, but he's just kept on powering away. I mean,
yeah, we see him clip the grass there, but
I know.
There's only 3 trucks still on the lead lap. Those are Osborne and Moutre, and they are both 30 seconds behind Bryce. And he's already made his last pit stop. Osborne has not. Osborne still needs to come to pit road one more time before this thing is over. And so even if he goes kind of fuel only like Bryce did, he's still going to lose at least 30 seconds. Probably closer to 40. Maybe 45 getting on pit road. So he is going to drop back behind Simmons by my math. That, I think, is going to be the battle for third, is going to be Osborne and Simmons. Whenever Osborne comes to pit road.
Yeah, I think Osborne's going to have a few seconds on Simmons, just because Simmons got lost it over the hump. It would have taken him a few seconds to get going again. I would say he's going to be at least 3 or 4 seconds behind Osborne, but Osborne will want to keep his nose clean.
Seawright, another driver that needs to come to pit road one more time. He's currently in 6th. 2 laps down. Why don't we do it? We'll just do a run through the field here. It's Bryce Borer out front. He's got a 30-second lead over Dakota Osborne. He has started on the pole and been untouchable all night here in the CDSN Grand Prix. Running in 2nd right now is Dakota Osborne, who was just in that big incident with Prim and Griffin, but kind of came out as the victor, but still needs to pit one more time before this race is over. He'll likely drop back into a battle for 3rd with Kyle Simmons. In 3rd right now, though, is Ryan Moutre. He ran in 2nd place for a good portion early in the race before kind of settling in here around 3rd. He had Griffin starting to beat down on him before that incident we just mentioned. And then Kyle Simmons has just been slow and steady climbing forward. He went 4 tires and then a fuel-only stop just a few laps ago. So he's good to go to the finish and has been as high as 2nd. Right now running in 4th, but like we said, he should cycle up near the battle for 3rd when Osborne hits pit lane. Then it's Jamie Griffin, who had also been working his way up for a podium until that incident with Prim about 10-12 laps ago. So he's in 5th here. 1 lap down. So is Simmons. Then it's Jonah Seawright in 6th. He dropped kind of heavy there early in the race after some big contact and has recovered fairly nicely here to get back into 6th after dropping as low as 10th. Klaus Brahm. Oh, go ahead.
Simmons and sorry, just while you're going through Brahms, Simmons and Seawright can't get away from each other. They're locked together, and Seawright does not want to give Simmons this pass. This would take Simmons to be in 2 laps in front of Seawright, but he doesn't want to give him that. I'm not sure whether it's because of some of the contact earlier in the race, but
yeah, or earlier in the season. At this point,
yeah,
you know, you've kind of settled into your rivalries and who you like to see around you on the racetrack. I think this battle's about to heat up, Lee. Simmons really throwing that truck around these curves, trying to get around the 15. Again, I think he knows that he's going to be in a battle for 3rd with Osborne when Osborne hits pit road. He cannot afford to get slowed up here. And they're both coming up on another lap car of Gallman.
I've raced around Jonah many a time. He's a great guy, but man, he's a tough guy to get around when he doesn't want you to get by him. Best of luck, Simmons.
So they both get around the 71 of Gallman. Gallman back in 11th place right now. He's at 5 laps down. But up 2 spots from where he started in the race. And Seawright goes off. That's going to let Simmons get right to him. Oh, and then he locks up that left front. The gap is kind of reset. Oh, Simmons sideways. Avoids contact with the wall, but loses a ton of time. And Johnny Jones has had another issue. So first we're going to go back and watch what happened to Simmons here. Again, he's working hard to catch the 15, really slinging that truck around.
Watch the back end of his truck here.
And he gets it just in the grass as that left rear tire and loses the grip. Then it was Johnny Jones getting off track and picking up a meatball here. Oh, big contact into that outside wall. And again, that's I'm going to give that one to the hump.
Yep. Hump scores again.
We should have been keeping score. What the death toll was.
The Humps won. I see Bryce coming up on the back of Jamie right now.
This would put Griffin 2 laps down. Yeah, I mean, it's Boer is just putting together a perfect race. Not only is he, the fastest in by lap time, but he just seems to avoid all the bad luck. Even when he got contact with a lap car, he came away unscathed, really didn't lose any time. The same cannot be said for Griffin. And watch it, that 5 over to the right side of the track at the hump. We mentioned that's where it's dangerous, but Jamie, road course veteran, keeps it very steady, but is going to lose that second lap to Bryce Boer now. And so now the watch is on. Seawright's coming to pit road, and Osborne is that last truck on the older run. Seawright picks up a black flag on pit exit. I think that's his second one of the night, too. It is. He picked one up back on lap 35 and another here on lap 72. So Seawright running 7th place. Might end up losing a couple more positions to Boyd and Sahadak, who are on the same lap as him, 3 laps down.
Now, knowing the luck of Seawright and Simmons today, when Seawright comes back out, he'll end up right in front of Simmons or right behind him.
All right, so Osborne still out on the track, but he is over a second off the pace of Bryce Boer ahead of him and Ryan Moutre behind him. So Moutre now just a second and a half back. And again, these are all ALR drivers here in the top 3. They've done it most of the night. Bryce Boer out front, but Osborne and Moutre doing their part for this podium sweep for ALR Racing. As we're starting to see Moutre track down Dakota Osborne, but Osborne still has to pit.
I was going to say, there's not a world where Osborne's going to try and run this, is he? Is there?
I just don't know how he could. Let's take a look at the map, at the math. The longest run we saw early in the race was 37 laps. He's already run 38, but there's just 5 to go. I don't think it's impossible. I don't know how he can maintain the pace he has right now and hold off Moutre for second. Why don't we jump on board with Osborne and just kind of listen and see what he's doing. Yeah, I mean, it just, if anything, he's just being soft on the throttle, but he still seems to be getting to full throttle on the straights.
He was one of the guys, along with Simmons, that went the long distance. What did you say, 37? Yeah.
Yeah, Moutre is there.
Yeah.
So he's going to lose that second place position. It's 40 seconds back to Kyle Simmons. And now just 3 laps to go. Well, here's the interesting piece. Well, not quite. They are still, I was going to say, Boer is the only one that needs to go the full distance. If he starts lapping people, their fuel mileage game changes a little bit. But these two are on the lead lap, so they're still going to have to turn all 80 laps around LimeRock Park. Yeah, we can see by our estimates, Osborne is on the empty side of the fuel tank. He's going to stay out. Again, I think he's going to do his best to make it. And that's really all the drama we have left here in this one. With 3 laps to go, Bryce Boer has a 46-second gap back to Ryan Moutre, who has just cruised by Dakota Osborne for second. As we know, Osborne playing a fuel strategy game. He's going to need to go 42 laps 5 laps longer than anyone has all race. Now 2 laps remaining here in the CDSN Grand Prix on the GEC Racing League. I want to thank everybody for tuning in on the YouTube channel. Join us on Thursday for our Cup Series race. I think we're at Pocono, Lee.
Yes, I think we are. Love that circuit. Long yellow flags, but great circuit.
And the white flag is out as Bryce Bohr brings us around one last time.
Great job on the graphics tonight. I know somebody made a comment, I think it was Menchaca.
Yeah, I think I've got carpal tunnel from clicking around through all of these graphics.
Amazing.
And Bohr, oh, and I think Osborne is out. He is going to go a lap down.
He is. Yeah.
He is coasting, which should have enough to make it to the finish ahead of Simmons. Simmons has gained 10 seconds here on the last lap, but it's not quite going to be enough to get third. It's going to be an ALR sweep to start the playoffs. Bohr, Moutre, and Osborne are your podium. Kyle Simmons 4th, Jamie Griffin 5th.
Interesting there. I think Osborne backed up so Bohr could get ahead of him.
They did save him from having to drive that extra lap.
Yeah, so he didn't have to do that extra lap. Great effort by Osborne to get around with only doing one stop. But Bryce Bohr was in a league of his own tonight. Moutre did his best job to stay with him, followed by Osborne, Simmons, Griffin, Brahm, Boyd, Sahidak, and Elsie in 9th, and followed by Seawright. Seawright was 10th. So in the playoffs, our first winner is Bryce.
Surprise, surprise. 6 wins already in the regular season. Picks up his 7th of the season here tonight.
Yeah, he's had a great season. I mean, he just hasn't put a foot wrong. And even when he does go over the edge just a little bit, he's talented enough to get his time back again. Just amazing.
Hold on, I'm trying to upload the race results so we can pull in some points. And for some reason it's showing Ryan Moutre as the winner. That can't be right.
No.
And yeah, I think Bryce might have picked up a disqualification there, doing his burnout, maybe driving backwards before every single driver had made it back to the start finish line. So we'll see. I assume race control is going to clean that up after the fact. We'll have an updated points picture for you at the beginning of next race as we wait for drivers to head into the interview waiting room. Go ahead and take a look at those results. Again, it's showing Ryan Moutre is the winner because of whatever Bryce was getting into for his celebration. But it is Bryce Bohr winning the race, then Moutre, then Osborne drifting home on fumes, holding off Kyle Simmons, who happens to be the hard charger of the race. He gained 3 positions throughout the night. Bryce Bohr led 75 of 80. I mean, he really only didn't lead laps through that green flag pit cycle. He also had the fastest lap and started on pole. Pure domination for the 57 here tonight, Lee.
Yeah, I was expecting some of the other guys to challenge Bryce tonight. guys like Simmons and Jamie. I know Jamie was on a run there, but nobody really even could put a finger on Bryce. Just a great effort by Bryce.
Now we're going to go ahead and bring driver of the 57 up into the booth with us. Picking up his 7th win of the season is Bryce Bohr. You got a copy?
I do, and are we sure about this win? Because it looks like they took my lap back.
Yeah, I think I think what
goodness.
happened here is you started celebrating a little too early before every single car finished their final lap, so you got DQ'd. But I'm expecting race control to clean that up for you, so we're gonna call you the winner either way.
Yeah, it was dirty. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I just sent it into one. I didn't really mean to get off the track there, but I said, you know, while I'm here, let me start doing some burnouts, and then I was just gonna walk it back. But yeah, whatever. That'd be nice.
Hey,
if
mate,
they could clean that up.
yeah, you had a great race all night. It's probably the most dominant performance I've seen here at GEC for quite some time. Any struggles at all? Tell me a little bit about your race.
Struggled all night last night at the ARCA race. This car
Really?
compared to that car, yeah, night and day. Um, I mean, it was quick. You know, the car, I was able to drive it pretty quick last night. It's just being consistent was really difficult. I don't know what it was where I struggled, but I mean, I turned it and then it kind of just started driving angrily last night and was short on fuel. I didn't really know how I felt about going into this one. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't really feel confident in this track until about 20 laps into this race where I was like, okay, I can kind of have a rhythm where I can drive this thing. Now scrolling through my black boxes, but up until 20 laps into this race, I was just not focused on anything else but that racetrack.
Yeah, hey man, you were out front, so I'm not sure how everyone else was feeling in that first 20 laps, but it wasn't as good as you. But what I did notice in warm up was that you I wouldn't say struggle, but you weren't quite as quick as some of the other guys in warm up, and then in the last 15 20 minutes, you seemed to get a handle on the track, and I started to see you put together some good times. Where did you struggle, and how did you overcome those areas?
The first section, so you get through turn one, once you get your braking down there, really, you just gotta put all those pieces together. It's really just one little puzzle right there. And if you could just put that whole section together right there, you can make up a lot of time. So I was finding some consistency there, and then I don't really put the delta on at all. I'm not sitting there trying to chase a number because it just takes me off of a rhythm. So I just try to go for by feel, and it did feel like that first section I needed to make the most time on. I figured something else out that wasn't working before, and just take it slow through there. You know, accelerate where the car is free, and then where it starts to tighten up, just start decelerating, and then through that last section going up the hill into the Toyo tunnel. Yeah, I just really try to make up time there just by not getting on the curb and just being patient with it.
Yeah, you mentioned rhythm. This place is nothing but rhythm. I think that's where some of the guys that were backmarkers when they were getting out of your way struggled a little bit, because then there was another car they had to get out of the way of, and it was knocking people out of rhythm a little bit. Hey man, really enjoyed the clinic you put on today. Just an absolutely phenomenal effort.
Yeah, had fun time out there. I really actually, I'll go ahead and mark this down as one of my favorite tracks. I mean, like I said, it took 20 laps to get there, but you know, definitely worth it. I didn't really look forward to racing tonight, but glad I did. It was a good time out
Yeah.
there today.
Hey Bryce, Shane, did you have anything for Bryce before he mentions who he wants to thank tonight?
I just wanted to ask. I mean, we all in the pre-race we said, "Hey, that hump there at the top of the backstretch is going to catch a few people off guard," and it did. But when we were on board with you, you were getting sideways and drifting it through there too. Was that making you nervous, or you just kind of had a handle on that?
On cold tires for sure, without a doubt. I mean, I was as tight as you could be at every vessel in my body. But you know, once the tires warmed up, you kind of just let the car work itself up that hill. You know, go easy on that throttle. But I mean, even on cold tires, you're going easy on the throttle. That thing wants to kick sideways on you. That's a fun hill right there.
Yes, sir. Well, yeah. Anybody else you want to thank for your run tonight? It was an ALR podium sweep. But other than your teammates, who we're going to have a chance to talk to here in just a few minutes, who else you want to thank for your run?
Well, not other than that, I'm going to thank them because we come out here and we put on some put on some laps before we get into these races. We really want to dial it in together as a team and do the best that we can do each and every week. So I appreciate them for sticking with it together and coming out every week racing together. But yeah, thank you guys up in the booth putting on the show. Got some people watching. They enjoy what you guys do. They continue to get full, thinking that it's not a real race. But hey, hats off to you guys for that great show. And then yeah, GEC, appreciate you guys doing what you do here, and as always, glad to be here.
All
Yeah,
right.
great effort, man. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Where are we next week? Just trying to think.
Let's see.
Old
Oh, we're
Atlanta.
yeah, old Atlanta. So we
Oh
look forward
yeah,
to seeing you there, man.
looking forward to that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And that was race winner Bryce Borer. Next up, we're going to talk to second place driver of the 44 truck, Ryan Moutre. Ryan, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right. I mean, walk us through that one. We saw you in second place, then falling back a little bit, and then you made your way back into that second place spot through the pit cycles and the kind of as the battle of attrition waged on. Just tell us what it was like out there.
Yeah, it was definitely elbows up kind of race. You had to be on top of it, and the ARCA race last night really helped. Just kind of getting a gauge for the track and just hit all my marks and didn't make any too big mistakes, and had a good pit cycle, and that's about all I did.
And we saw that hump on the backstretch take out a number of drivers. We asked Bryce about it. He said, you just take it easy. It's fine. But how was that for you?
Yeah, as long as you were out of the throttle, it would be fine. There's a couple of times where I got a little scared there, but yeah, that wasn't really too big of an issue, but yeah.
You seem to be in control of your truck all night. It was really great effort. Tell me what it was like trying to get around some of the lappers here, because I know it's such a tight circuit, and some of them were barely holding on and getting out of a rhythm. Was that tough for you tonight?
I had a couple of times where it was a little tough, but for the most part, everybody got out of the way and kind of respected everybody. But yeah, I mean, I felt like for the most part, I hit everybody in a pretty good area to where I could get around them. But a couple of those corners, you just kind of have to be patient and just wait until the next corner or something like that. So
yeah, that right-hander after the hump. If there's it's better. It seems to be better to follow through there than go on the outside of that corner. It gets very scary on the outside of that corner. But hey, man, really great effort tonight. Great effort by your whole entire team. Who do you want to thank for this effort tonight?
yeah, just thank everybody at ALR, the whole team. We're giving it our all here, and hopefully we can stay around for a while.
Yeah, great effort, man.
Thank you.
That was Ryan Moutre, driver of the 44, coming on P2. It looks like Dakota Osborne is not going to be doing an interview with us here in the race. He was finished third. We saw him stretch it on fuel to get that podium victory. So I want to congratulate Dakota on that third place finish, and we'll see him next week at Atlanta.
He's probably still walking back to the pits. He might have to push his car. Maybe he hasn't got a ride. He's probably out of fuel on the backside.
Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for us here at LimeRock. It was Bryce Borer picking up the victory, then Moutre and Osborne. Kyle Simmons in fourth, Jamie Griffin fifth, Klaus Brahm in sixth, Michael Boyd seventh, then Walt Zahadak, Ryan Elzey, and Jonas Seawright, your top 10. Then it was Ken Gallman, Josh Ryder, Chris Jones, Scott Prim, Johnny Jones, Stephen Hayes, Ryan Jones, and race control Dusty Haynes finishing dead last there in this race. I want to thank everybody for tuning in on the GEC Racing League YouTube channel. As always, catch us Thursday night as the Cup Series heads to Pocono, and then next Tuesday we'll be back with the CDSN Truck Series at Old Atlanta.
Old Atlanta, yeah.
going down and the rig is on. iRacing is where I belong. Discord's lit and the drivers are here.